Yes, people, what is going on? Hope you are all good. Doing a different review, not a Chelsea review. Going to be doing more of this stuff on the channel, so if you do like it, make sure you let me know. Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. A game in the Premier League, which I think it was the winner goes fourth. I think that was pretty much the mentality. Liverpool have gone fourth. I think it would have been the same for Tottenham, maybe third or whatever. But two genuine title contenders going up against each other. A month ago, this game finished 2-1 to Liverpool with a dire goal late stages that Tottenham would have been fuming to concede. And this game was a lot more entertaining. There were 6 goals, but only 4 of them were allowed. We'll come on to that in a little moment. It was a very good game of football. Before I go into this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're doing more of these throughout the month of February and onwards as well, depending on obviously what comes up. And there's going to be some good games, obviously, with Champions League and all sorts of stuff coming up in the next few weeks. The game started very fast, and Son obviously hit the back of the net in the first 5 minutes, only for his heel to be offside. One that I saw a few Tottenham pages, George Achilea mainly was the one I looked at particularly, go absolutely nuts about, and then obviously go nuts about again when the VAR call came in. And that's one of the things about VAR. You'll notice that it kind of dominated this game. When I say dominated, there was a few things, but it had a massive impact. It completely and utterly had a massive impact in this game. So yeah, decent finish by Son, near post, tucked home. Very, very good. Great start for Spurs. Just killed the game. And then it kind of had a little kind of a backwards and forwards, regular flow to it, which it was okay to watch. I enjoyed it. But it really kind of changed when the when half time came round. Just before half time, Firmino puts Liverpool 1-0 up. Good move, tapping for him, absolute tapping. He'll be well happy with that one. It was a Mane assist. Bosh, do you know what I mean? It was just very simple. He's been out of a bit of goal scoring form, so he'd probably be well chuffed to get back into it. And you won't get a better opportunity than that. That's the bottom line. That was a few minutes before half time, and then half time comes round, and Kane went off injured. Liverpool also brought someone on whose name I've actually forgotten. They had an injury as well. He was a centre half, I'm sure he was. But Kane went off, and that was where kind of Spurs' hope started to fade out, I suppose, a little bit. Maybe it sounds a little bad that I'm putting it all on one person, but you could see that the Spurs in the second half were not the same Spurs as in the first half. You don't like to see it. Obviously, with Chelsea coming up in a few days. Sorry, in a week. Yeah, it is a week. Coming up in a week for Spurs, and obviously they'll be gutted about Harry Kane. I don't know whether he's going to be back and available or whatever. Obviously, it's too early to tell. But the game changed massively. Trent Alexander-Arnold very quickly put Liverpool 2-0 up, and that was where you really saw there was going to be problems coming from Spurs, because you didn't really know what to expect. You didn't really know how to play. And with, obviously, Kane, who's been so good, and Son, that have been such a great pairing, when you lose such a ginormous threat, you're struggling, regardless of who else you've got around. It takes a lot. When Højbjerg scored an absolute screamer in the 49th minute, just after, obviously, Liverpool kind of went ahead. Shouldn't be fair. Let me give credit to the Trent Alexander-Arnold goal. It's a lovely drilled finish into the bottom corner. It really is a nice finish. He is very good when he's allowed to go forward. I do still think that he's a little bit kind of weaker defensively, but I think even he, to be fair, would be one of the main people that would say the main traits of my game are going forward. That's the way the modern fullback goes now anyway, but it's a really nice finish regardless. Give credit where it is due. But then what is an even better finish is Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg, or however the hell you say his name, Højbjerg. Anyway, I think it's... No, I can't even be asked. Højbjerg. Banger, absolute banger. And I tell you, they said it on the commentary, of all the people on this pitch you would expect to score a screamer and really open this game up, you wouldn't pick him. You would not pick him. It was an absolutely superb finish. Nice and low into the nice and high into the top corner, and he kind of hit it going away from Alisson, and he didn't have any hope at all of getting anywhere near it. It's one of those ones that you kind of look at it and went, did he mean it to go exactly like that? I don't know, but it did, so fair play. But either way, it's a really nice finish. You've got to assume that he did. And I keep saying the same thing with Chelsea. You try your distance from luck, and things like that go in your favour. So, fair play and give credit where it is due completely. They came back into the game. It was a little bit kind of interesting. I still didn't ever think that they were going to really get back into the game. Of course, because they were missing Kane. That's a big lost to deal with, and they did all right at times until Salah scored in the 59th minute, disallowed for VAR. I'll come on to that in a moment. But that kind of spell between that, the 10 minutes or so, you kind of looked at it and thought, are Spurs going to get back into this game? I kind of questioned it, and you kind of saw they brought on Bale eventually, and there was just a few things that you kind of went, well, I don't know what I'm going to see here. I don't know what I'm going to physically see that's going to change this game in Tottenham's favour. Of course, they're only a goal behind, but you know, I want to see more. Salah's goal goes in. It is done for VAR. Now I'll talk about that one because there's a bit of tussle with, I think it was Dyer and Firmino. I'm pretty sure it was Dyer. They're both giving it a bit, and it does knock against Firmino's hand or Firmino's arm. You know, that's concrete. That's fact. You can see it. But it's just a case of whether you think that's handball or not. There was a bit of tussle. He did probably gain somewhat of an advantage off of it. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, I can see why it gets given. Honestly, I can. But on the flip side of it, I would be fuming if it went against me. I would be fuming. I don't know. It's a weird one. The referee, Peter Walton, who, to be fair, I think is absolutely useless on BT Sport. He has an opinion about it. He doesn't really know. There's a lot to kind of consider, but it's very obvious that it does touch the arm. And it's one of those ones where you kind of feel they gave it more because it was obvious that it did touch his arm, rather than it was obvious and they knew for an absolute fact that it was handball or whatever. Tough one. That's what I would just say. It was a tough one. For me, I probably think it was the right decision, but different referee, different day, different circumstances, different player even as well, maybe. And I think that's a completely different decision. And we're looking at this and talking about it in a very different light. Then, anyway, that was kind of 60-minute mark. And in the 65th minute, Mane made it 3-1. And then I think everyone just kind of accepted that that was game over. Bale came on to try and spark some life into the game and whatever. But 2-goal cushion for Liverpool and Tottenham missing their best centre-forward. You just kind of felt the game was dying a bit, I'll be honest with you. So, look, the goal, the third one, it's bad defending. They paid for it. They made the most of it, Liverpool. Mane put it in the back of the net. I thought he was really good today, and obviously he got a goal and an assist. So, for me, he was probably my man of the match. They're talking to Trent. They'll give it to him, I'm sure. I think they might have already given it to him. I didn't quite miss that on the graphic. But I thought Mane was brilliant, and it was very weird because Tottenham, they had Doherty playing. He hasn't played a lot for them. Reguilon was out and whatever. It was a very different game for Tottenham to have to deal with. It was unideal for them completely. But Liverpool started to show, like, this is what we can do. We don't necessarily play that well at times, and they had struggled. And I think they were banging on saying that it was the first time they'd scored in the Premier League in something like 7 hours of play, because I know they haven't necessarily been on a great run of form recently. But you know, just like that, they can go and beat someone like Spurs 3-1. It shows the advantage of what can happen when your team goes in front, and when someone like Tottenham do have to come out and play, especially missing one of their best players. I keep banging on about it because it is so important. They were going to struggle anyway. So, yeah, look, that shows Liverpool. That's basically what champions do, and it's one of those ones. And again, if they want to come and go on a late title charge towards the end of the season, I say a late title charge. That's kind of a little bit probably offensive to them. They're definitely not out of the race, so they probably are slightly outside it. But again, this season's so mad, who knows what's going to be the case. But yeah, that's just my instant reaction to it. It was a decent game to watch. It wasn't the best I've ever seen. Wasn't the worst. But a decent competitive game of football that was cost by injuries and VAR. That was the bottom line. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you like, share and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a few more of these. If you do like it, then let me know. Do you want me to do all the games? Do you want me to do bigger games? Let me know. Again, I can do whatever. Normally, I'm going to have a setup, just doing the green screen today, because the setup needs to all get sorted and whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Peace.